Hi, my name's Jasper. I use they pronouns.
Hi, my name is Liana. I use they demon pronouns.
This video is how to use our pronouns.
So we're going to basically present 3 sentences. One of them is going to have one pronoun, the other one's going to have the other pronoun, and then the last one is going to have both pronouns interchanged.
So Liana uses they, them pronouns and demon pronouns. So the first sentence would be, Liana is my partner, they are cute, and I am theirs. I love them very much, and I hope they love themselves too. For the demon pronouns, it would be, Liana is my partner, Deem is cute, and I belong to Deem. I love Demon very much, and I hope Deem loves Demon's self too. Then interchanging the two would be, Liana is my partner, they are cute, and I am Deem's. I love Demon very much, and I hope they love Demon's self too.
Parents, the time has come to start beating your kids.
Hey boys, look what I got here.
Hey, where are the white women at?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate every subscriber. Trying to hit 5K before the end of the year. We'll see if we can make that happen. This channel does a lot of entertainment commentary, but it also talks about social issues, because this culture war that we're fighting, people that have been using our entertainments as platforms to espouse divisive rhetoric have added to the rise, the explosion of mental illnesses, or the adaptation of mental illnesses. The belief that people who are not ill are ill. They're affirming these things in ourselves because it's the latest fad. It's a sad thing to see in places like TikTok, where we have just seen children literally summoning mental illness at a time in their lives when young people need guidance, they need parenting. I know at the beginning I said, parents, y'all need to beat your kids, but I don't mean necessarily beating the crap out of them. But it's time to start instilling discipline, holding them to a standard, holding them to a societal standard. I understand that my audience has a lot of conservatives. A lot of Christians come through here. And I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I'm the head of Rogue Entertainment. One of the mission statements of our group is the right of the individual, right to free expression. And that means everybody. And I do mean everybody.
My pronouns are they, them, and occasionally bitch. That's it.
I laugh at the pronouns thing because I think the pronoun thing is ridiculous. And honestly, it should be reserved for a very, very small minority. Not people who have appropriated these illnesses, these mental illnesses. Gender dysphoria is an illness. I don't hate somebody because they have that illness, but I believe that the fight that was begun disingenuously by the media with the bathroom debate back in the late 2000s, it was totally to that whole bathroom debate, the whole rise of this fad, this just trans fad. It was to provoke the traditional enemies of progressives, which are the Christian conservatives. So one of the reasons I'm going to be a big ass preface before we get into the mental illness that is running rampant is I'd like to give an example. I'd like to give an example from my history. I'm a Wiccan. I consider myself a witch. I don't go waving my pagan dong around because some people, as they have been raised, whatever their culture, whatever their family values were, either don't understand what I am, have a gross misinterpretation of what I am, have never encountered anyone like me, and to be quite frank, a lot of my Wiccan brothers and sisters out there acting a fool right now. Love y'all out there, love my peeps, Lord and Lady bless. The hyper left, the far left, the hyper progressives have gone off the rails. They've gone off the deep end. They fell off. And because traditionally, at least as I've grown up, the left was kind of a natural ally to the pagan community. A lot of the Wiccans that I know have remained there without really thinking. They've remained with their allies and have adapted to allowed this the manipulation of our children, of information, old prejudices, unfortunately, even in my own group, in my own minority group, because I am a part of a minority group, have allowed things that I thought we were fighting against as I was growing up, things like prejudice, bigotry, ists and isms, to become a part of who we are, because because we're so hyper defensive or hyper offensive, hyper progressive, that we're not seeing the forest from the trees. One of the things I've done as a religious minority has been to understand how to get along with people. And that doesn't mean whipping my pentacle out in their face. I don't go out there and just say, I'm a witch, I'm a witch, I'm a witch. Because that puts people off. That puts some people off, especially if they've been raised in a religion or a household or they've never encountered anyone like us. And I hate those of my brothers and sisters who use the excuse, well, they've been burning us and they've been killing our culture and they've been, they're committing genocide and they've been doing it for 2,000 years, for 1,500 years. That is true, but it is our job as adults, as representatives of our community, our minority group, to lead the way. To not hold those old prejudices. This is when we're supposed to come together. What I've seen from the media and every level of society is not only the use of social media and mainstream media to divide us, but to break down any kind of commonality that we have. When I talk to somebody, when I get to know them, I'm not waving the fact that I'm Wiccan in their face. And what I have found is that over time, as they get to know me for who I am, and then they find out, for whatever reason, it comes up in a conversation, what my belief system is, they're more open to understanding who and what I am. I have come into situations where someone has known me for a time and then find out that I'm Wiccan, and then their disposition completely changes. Prejudices are rooted deeply. But for the most part, I am proud to say that human beings, good human beings, get to know me for me. We've lost this in society. We've allowed disingenuous people for way too long, the last 10 years, to use this platform, the internet, to divide us, to separate us, to segregate us, to point out differences instead of bringing us together. And not only that, but it's gotten to the point where, social media influencers, these terrible people, like that weirdo that's coming after Dave Chappelle, who's one of the most racist, hateful people ever. That's a hero. That right, and it is excused from that person because they are transgender. It is their racism, sexism, their nastiness is excused because in the oppression Olympics, they've got enough of a virtue signal score, be that nasty of a person and get away with it. This is not where we should be, not as people. There's two reasons why I brought that up, and I hope nobody got offended at the fact that I'm a member of a religious minority group. And that is, one, to explain how someone in a minority group can operate within society, focusing on commonalities to bridge understanding and bring people together, which is one of my goals in life. The second reason is because I'm a practiced meditator. I understand what affirmations do. I understand how we program ourselves to better ourselves, to get what we want, to make our will manifest. Literally rewiring your brain. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. Like I said, I'm a practiced meditator. But it doesn't take a degree from a university to understand the writings, the knowledge, what has been given to us for centuries, for thousands of years, from others like myself, much more informed, much more practiced than myself, on what you can achieve if you tell yourself something positive every day. If you continue a cycle of positive thought, you can rewire your brain to make to get what you want, to achieve your goals, to feel better about yourself. We have allowed for too long the disingenuous within certain minority groups to virtue signal, to talk trash, to be loud and proud without focusing on commonalities and consistently focusing on differences, to divide and segregate us because of their own inner fears, their own either mental illnesses, their inability to cope with their own emotions, their fear, their anger, whatever it is, to focus on their negativity. And unfortunately, we as humans, we love bombastic people. So some of these influencers have gained a lot of traction and even become famous. That ain't right. I don't understand. I understand the attraction of the rebellious nature of a villain, but we really need to stop celebrating villains. They're not heroes. They're trying to hurt people. They're trying to take things away from people, and we really need to stop celebrating villainy. The thing that bridges the positive and the negative commonalities between us are neutral commonalities. The fact that if you're born with testicles, you're a man. You're born with ovaries, you're a woman. This is what it is. It's what it is. You know, certain aberrations notwithstanding, there are some things that are just also fact as much as biological sex, like homosexuality. It's a natural thing. It's not immoral. It's not. It is. It came from nature. I'm a believer that anything that has come into the natural world, natural universe, is natural. Homosexuality, natural. Gender dysphoria, some people have it. It's you can consider it a deformity, you can consider it a genetic problem, defect, whatever you want to call it, mental illness, whatever you want to call it. It happens. It's natural. There are certain neutral commonalities that exist between us. These things exist. They always have existed. There are certain fetishes that humans have always been into. You know, we talk about, people talk about fur. I think furries are weird. I think they're weird. But you know what? There's always been fringe things that have existed. All right. In Greece, they had horseplay. Yeah, they were dressing themselves up as wearing bits in their mouths and putting saddles on and drinking wine and having parties and orgies and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, humans have always had fringe sexuality. The main commonality between us is heterosexual sex. Heteronormative, whatever the hell the weird, whatever the hell those activist gays out there are putting out. We were getting to a point, at least in my society, in the United States, we were getting to a point where some of these commonalities, neutral commonalities, were being accepted. It's like gay marriage happened, and every one of us that was fighting for gay rights won. They won. And the Christian conservatives were like, all right, you know what? God's going to judge you in the end. They got calm about it. Most of them got calm about it, which was great. That's awesome. That was a beautiful thing. And then during the Obama administration, one of the great dividers of our time, this bathroom debate kicked off. There wasn't enough separation. There wasn't enough separation between the levels and the classes of societies. They had to start creating problems. They had to start pulling out boogeymen about the transgender woman who's going to go into your bathroom to feel up on your daughter. Now, I'm not saying that instances like that might not occur. Everything and anything is damn near possible. Improbable, but not impossible. And when you come across a villain like that, they should be taken care of. Old school. But for the most part, you're talking about a part of society who was born with an affliction. I consider it an affliction. I'm sorry if that's offensive to any of my trans friends out there. My love to you. But they were born with an affliction, a confusion within themselves. And they're dealing with enough. They're dealing with one of the highest suicide rates that we have in our society. They're dealing with having to find a way to accept themselves in a mainstay, a core commonality within the human race that is just, vanilla, heterosexual, that doesn't understand these things. They're also dealing with religions that have taught that these things are evil. There are some places in the world where if you express love in a way that is not deemed by the religious, you can be murdered. These things are wrong. We're all human beings, and harm none. Do as thou will. But what we saw was literally an appropriation of the strife of these minority groups. Not only the appropriation of it, but the use of it, the platforming of it. If virtue signaling, as if they are advocating for these groups. Look, advocating for a minority group or a group that has a dangerously high suicide rate, or one that is not giving equal treatment in our society, I'm all for that. I am all for equality across the board. I don't care who you are, who you sleep with, what you look like, how you talk. Now, I'm all for that. We are all human. We are all brothers and sisters on Mother Earth. But we have seen far too often, especially in the last 10 years, that there are truly mentally ill people, hatefully ill people, very hatefully ill, that have taken these movements, that have taken these causes, and have disingenuously appropriated them. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me that this explosion of transgender, whatever the hell out there, or special kinds of gay, that's what I call the Qs and the plus. They ain't. There's aberrations that exist. Absolutely. But you can't tell me that they're all genuine. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. When you continue to tell people over and over again, when you create affirmations of hate, when you create confusing affirmations that destroy the core commonalities between we as people, you begin to literally rewrite. You rewire people's brains. And this lack of leadership, this disingenuous villainy by people who have appropriated these minority groups and are projecting them with the intent to cause division and hate. At first, I just laughed at it. I was hoping we as a society would just be like, this is a joke. Now it is affecting our young people. And we've created so much shaming, contradictory laws, social media companies trying to virtue signal for disingenuous actors, not transgender people, not people who may feel gender fluid or gays. God, I miss the days of regular gay people. I miss the sweeties and the he-she's. I miss my just traditional bulldog. I miss my hot lesbians. You know what I mean? That you wished would take a day. I miss my old gay people. I miss the real gays. Y'all real gays, please stand up. Will the real gay people please stand up? Will the real transgenders please stand up? We have allowed the elevation, the platforming of people who want to divide us. Don't want to concentrate on our commonalities. They want to create more division, more segregation, more hate between us. Bad actors who really do need mental health professionals or need to be locked up have caused enough damage to the point where companies are bending the knee, social media companies are bending the knee, and they don't give a damn about us. They don't care about us. They don't care about any of us. The wealthy elite, these corporations do not care about you or me. They want to see us fighting. That's what they want. We have allowed these people to be elevated to the point where our children are developing on their own mental illness. Where places like TikTok, Christians, listen. Look, I had a problem with y'all for a long time. All right, I put that down. We need to come together. I'm talking about my Muslims, everybody, the Jews, everybody. Look, listen, all my Abraham peoples. Listen, we need to come together. The pagans, all right, and the monotheists. We need to come together because I don't know what level of hell that came out of. But we need to start burning some sage, putting up some saint pictures. We need to exorcise this demon. That did not get punished enough as a child. That is not being punished enough. That is illness. There's a problem there. There is a big problem there. We have allowed spheres of difference, negative commonalities, to become so static that people will allow the destruction of this next generation, the destruction of their children, the programming of mental illness into their children through affirmations that are constantly placed upon them, backed by social media, by privileged millionaires in entertainment, by corporations who don't give a damn about you or me. We have allowed this static environment to exist because of politics. That's bullshit. We all know, all of us should know, politicians don't care about us. We should all know that. This is now coming to a point where it's hurting our kids. It's now coming to a point where we're allowing this to program the next generation. We're going to see so many screwed up people to be developed. And I don't care. I don't care if you consider yourself non-binary, whatever the case may be. You're just gender fluid. You know, you just that's all it is. Come on now. We need to start focusing on our commonalities. And please, for the love of the gods, please stop hating on the people that your entertainers, your influencers, these platforms, these social media platforms are telling you to hate. That's not what my generation fought for. I'm Gen X. I'm late Gen X. I'm kind of a Gen X millennial. And that's not what our generation fought to do. It's not what we stood for. We stood to accept one another, and I think we did pretty good. And then in the 2000s, our governments, our politicians, these social media platforms that were on the rise, our media, they didn't become ours anymore. They became the tool of the wealthy elite, the globalists, to segregate and divide us, to point out our differences, not to project our commonalities, our common goals, the fact that we all love our families, love our friends, that we want to do better and be better for ourselves. And instead, it was replaced. It was replaced with all the negative commonalities that are used to divide us. All of us need to stand up and say no. And it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter who you are, who you sleep with, how you decide to love and to harm none. We're all human beings. We're all brothers and sisters on this earth. Please, guys, enough with the crazy pronouns. Parents, start fucking parenting your children. All right? The allowing this is crazy. If your child is on TikTok acting a fool, acting like this, it's time to discipline them. It's time to discipline them. Put away your Trump derangement syndrome. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, born in the chats with my brothers and sisters, fighting for our modern mythologies. I am a culture warrior. I do stand by you. Hail to the rogue fellowship. Be good to each other. Yes, suffer no fools. Peace.